first question I want to ask you guys straight away is, what's your names? Introduce your guys individually. Can I get your introductions, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm David Campion. I'm the writer-director of Straight Through Crew.
My name is Georgia McLeod. I'm one of the actresses, and I spend 80% of the film swearing, so it's all good.
I'm Charles Craddock, and I play Aidan in the film. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Ella Dunlop, and I play Steph.
And I'm Laura Hall, and I play Lizanne.
Excellent. Great. So first thing I want to ask you guys is, how are you feeling today about the screening?
I think we're at the point now of excited. Two days ago it wasn't in sync and we were working at the DCP. I was in a car park in Northampton at midnight checking the audio, but we're all good. I think it's quite surreal for us, to be honest. This is like a regional southern film set in a village, like my home village. So bringing it up to somewhere like Manchester is just like, yeah, really surreal. So Ludgershall, which is on the Hampshire-Wiltshire border, it's about 25 minutes from Stonehenge. We are out in the sticks.
Okay. So you said this is like set around your home village.
Yeah.
Are we going to see things in this film that I would expect to see in your home village, or is it a different version of that? Is this your version of that?
You're going to see things that really happened. A lot of the characters are based on people. I'm sprinkled throughout these raves, and the rave that takes place at the centre of this film. That's a real rave that we went to. That was in a chicken shed. Unfortunately, we're not in a chicken shed. Yeah, like rural hedonism. Like this is based on like the last 12 years of living back in my home village. After going to uni and thinking I had escaped it. Yeah.
Amazing. I guess I have to ask right now, what was it like to film in a real rave? I like the actors. Well,
I'm actually going to leave. I have very strong feelings about this, but I'm going to leave this one for my actors.
I can take that one. Do you know
what was your experience filming in a real rave?
I think it actually gave the scene what it needed in terms of it felt live, it felt real. There were real people. I mean, there were times when people would run in and actually ruin the shot because they're just on a different level to everyone else in the cast. Yeah. So there were times when actually it really, really added. But yeah, it was chaos, but like in the best way, I would say. Yeah, for sure.
Amazing. I want to ask you guys as well, as a whole, being here and being involved in this film, is it a film that you kind of always wanted to be involved in? You know, having that moment to break out, was that something you really enjoyed? Or is that something you really wanted to do as actors?
Is anyone else? Yeah.
Well, so I'm kind of from the similar sort of area, so it's really nice to film to be in a film that is like 30 minutes from where my parents live, but just getting back to the roots, kind of being able to bring people here who are also from that area and to be like, no, this is our story in a way. That's really special. You would want to say something?
I don't really have much more to add from that because that was a great answer. But I don't know, for me it's just like a beautifully shot film and it's great. I mean, Georgia and I went to drama school together, so being with friends and the whole cast felt like a family. I know that you probably hear that a lot, but we were all like in one Airbnb together for weeks, and it's that kind of teenagedom that a lot of us experience in different ways.
The film needs, I think.
Yeah, so it was wonderful. Yeah.
Excellent. Okie dokie. I guess another question I have for you guys is this your first festival either as a team or maybe even individually? Have you been to any other showings recently? Oh, so all of you are experiencing this for the first time?
Yeah, I've never been to a film festival in my life, like not even like visiting. So I've come here blind, like I don't know what's going on. I'm like, hi, what's going on?
You're smiling. That's like 90% of it.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's excellent. I want to ask you guys, is there any particular events or any particular days that you think, okay, this memory is going to be etched into my mind forever? Any moments like that? Anything that went right? Anything that went crazy wrong? Or you thought, okay, that's crazy, I'm not going to forget that. Do you anything like that?
Can I start on just the one? I've got not just one, but the main one. Because I grew up in the same town as David, so the film has a very personal connection to me as well. And there was one scene what we shot. It was the last scene of the film, and it was the park scene, and it was, it was kind of a night shoot. It was absolutely freezing cold, but it was the park that I actually grew up in as a kid and I played in as a kid. So then to come back 20 years later as an adult and actually shoot my first feature film in that park was definitely a memory that I'll hold on to forever. Yeah. Don't know about you, David, or.
Yeah, what day will you never forget, David?
The rave. I missed my answer with the rave, but shoot a film with live music, DJs, everyone intoxicated and inviting and just throwing actors into that sort of crowd. I'm still recovering from that. We didn't have a first AD. We were trying to control people that were clearly on drugs. I mean, we tried to be as professional as possible here, but people were clearly on drugs, including the guy that got carried out 10 minutes into the rave. I'll never forget that. That's what filmmaking's all about.
Never forgetting things. I want to say surround your home village, but I want to ask as well, is there a message that maybe to look out for in the film, or a message that you wanted to say about it? Is there any subtext like that you wanted to include?
Yeah, I think these type of locations are like forgotten parts of the country. I love regional filmmaking, whether it's in England or America or anywhere around the world. Somewhere like Ludgershall that this is set in is usually the catalyst for a change in the protagonist. They look at their bad surroundings and realise they need to get out to London to get on with their life and start a career, and that can be kind of patronising. Not everyone wants to live that way, and I think it was important for me to show characters who could be content in their environment. It is all about community and friendship. I think that's the strongest theme in the film.
Okay. I know there's a lot of theme of drugs in the film, if that's correct.
Yeah.
In your opinion, do you feel like you show drugs in a positive light, a negative light, or a neutral light?
For one, it's not moralistic. Like, cinema shouldn't be too moralistic, especially when it comes to things like drugs. So I wanted to show drugs for what they could be, which recreationally used can be kind of fun if you're in the middle of a rave. But I was conscious of showing a darker side to addiction and to mental health. Mental health and the drugs, I think, in this film, particularly in Aidan's character, they're intertwined.
Excellent. Okay. So going on to that then, with your character, what kind of places, was there any places that you went to in this role that you felt uncomfortable with?
I think that's a really good question. I think that there are scenes which are very, very intense in nature, especially as we get to sort of the crescendo of the film where it does reach its darkest point. And I mean, the theme, the themes going under the scene are uncomfortable, but me as an actor, I felt very safe. I felt very free. Like I said, it's my first feature film. So I felt very comfortable to just play with that and not feel the heaviness of it. And I think as well, like, being very frank, I've been out, I've been to raves, I've partied, it's like, growing up in these towns, it's like, it's your experience, so you don't want to demonize it. But I think with Aidan particularly, I think he, as a character, the themes of addiction are there, depression, and sort of everything that's tied into that. So yeah, I think there's two sides to the coin. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the film is played, it's a comedy drama, so a lot of it's played for laughs. But the plight of Aidan, is based on real tragedy that's happened around our area. The neighbouring town to Ludgershall, which is where, when Jamie comes in on the train, you see the town of Andover. 10 years ago, there was just a load of suicides of young 16 to 24-year-old males predominantly. There's a car park in Ludgershall, a top-story, multi-story car park, where a lot of those guys lost their lives. So when I was writing Aidan, I did think, is this the start of what goes in to that, where things get so rough with drugs and addiction and mental health that you feel like there's no other way out? So there was something serious underlining it for me there. But watching the film, you probably wouldn't even know that. But for me, that's an important part.
Excellent. Well, that nicely wraps up What to Expect, guys. Thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait to enjoy the screening.
Thank you. Straight through crew.